Hello, Loveland. I'm Mike Meldon, and this is a special episode of what may become a new show on this channel. A show that features dynamic duos or inspiring couples that live or work right here in Loveland. I know that many of you got the chance to listen to our episode on the Hart family with John Hart and Randi Rico. Well, we thought that episode was fun and inspiring for people to hear, so we decided to do another one. In this interview, I took the reins because our power couple this time is our own Josh DeWitt and his wife Meredith DeWitt. Their story is a wild ride with a focus on family and community. We discuss how they met, their careers, and then focus on Meredith's role as the Loveland Athletic Boosters president. We have a lot of fun along the way, and I think this is a conversation you're going to enjoy. Just putting it out there. If you have an idea for a future episode of a show like this, let me know. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024.
Well, I grew up in Montgomery, graduated from Sycamore High School. I have a sister that's a year and a half younger than me and a brother that's 8 years younger than me.
Oh, wow.
He's the baby and the most favorite.
I think that's how it always works
Right.
out, right?
Right, which I tell my kids all the time. And Charlie and Uncle Michael they're both the babies.
So wait, you're the oldest of the
I'm
three?
the oldest of the three.
Okay.
So I graduated from Sycamore High School in 1992. From there, I went to UC. My grades in high school were not great. So basically, I had to go somewhere that, took any living, breathing thing.
UC was different.
UC was way
1992,
different.
I
You
tried
just
to
needed a
explain that.
heartbeat to get in.
Not
That
only
and
that,
Ohio
though.
State.
The campus was different.
Oh,
too.
yeah, for sure. So I went to UC with the hopes of I was going to, after my freshman year, transfer to OU because I had fallen in love with OU.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had so much fun at UC, I stayed.
Did you join a house? Were you in a house?
I was in a sorority for about 6 months. I hated it.
There you go.
So my parents were like, we'll pay for all of your school, but if you want to be in a sorority, you have to pay for it and work for it.
Yeah.
And so then I was a hostess / bus girl down at Uno's on Ludlow. And then I'd have to work and miss sorority stuff, and then I get fined for working. And I'm like, this is bullshit.
That's
like,
crazy. Yeah, that's not
it's
fair.
stupid.
Sororities are different than fraternities.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot more rules. It's a lot
Exactly.
more strict.
And at UC, if you wanted to go to a fraternity party, you didn't have to be in a sorority.
No.
You just had to be a girl.
Of course. Well, yeah, they're not dumb.
Right, exactly. So I learned
There's
that.
no restriction.
Right. I learned that real quickly, and I was like, I don't need to be in a sorority. So I dropped that. Had a little bit too much fun in school. It got to the point where my parents are like, you either figure your stuff out or take a break and figure out what you're going to do in life.
It's funny. He didn't have that because I was listening to your conversation with the Harts because you were so focused. But as you were talking about yours, I didn't jump in, but I had your experience.
Yeah.
We didn't have the sports keeping us in line.
Exactly.
That's
So,
I
I mean,
a 1.1 my first semester.
yeah. So then I decided, okay, you know what? If I stay at UC and go the education route that I wanted to do, it was going to take me forever. So I'm like, I'm going to transfer to NKU. I can be done in 4 years. I'll finish up and I'll graduate and I'll start teaching somewhere. Yeah. My first semester at NKU, I didn't really go to class much. My second semester, I don't think I went to class at all.
Yeah.
The bars on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday nights were just too
Very
fun.
similar college experience.
And it wasn't my friends. It wasn't that I grew up in this ultra, like, I didn't have a curfew in high school. I could do whatever I wanted. I didn't like all of a sudden just let loose.
No.
I just think I was immature at the time.
Of course. But that's the place to do it.
Right.
I think that's what the 4 years you have to figure out a balance.
Right. And my balance was very off kilter.
Yeah.
So,
Did you figure it out?
Well, so then in that meantime, Josh and I started dating, and my roommate at the time was a guy. He was a baseball player. My roommate, that was my best friend. She transferred down to Savannah College of Art and Design, and I needed a roommate. And Matt, who was a baseball player, great guy, had a girlfriend. He just needed a place to live, and I had the spot. And I'm like, you know what? Living on Ohio Avenue in Clifton, it might be smart to live with a guy.
Yeah.
So we lived together for a year, and Josh and I started dating probably 2 months after Matt moved in, and we got serious pretty quickly. And Matt was graduating, and he was like, we started talking about living together and maybe moving down to Lexington, and he's like, you can move down to Lexington, but the only way is if you finish school.
So Lexington.
Mm-hmm. He was living in Lexington at the time. He was working for.
Why? You can.
Yeah. So my I guess first real job. Well, my first real job out of college, I was working for Ethicon Endosurgery and Med Device here in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And Meredith and I would bump into each other in the bars every now and then and whatnot. And then I was transferred down to Lexington, Kentucky in '96, and we started dating at the end of '96.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
October.
So, okay. You guys are the same age. or
No, he's 2 years older.
No, I'm 2 years older. I graduated from Sycamore in 1990. And so I was already out of college and going to IU and playing football there.
Okay,
And
let's
so-
back. And you met in high school, though.
We did meet in high school.
How'd that go?
Yeah, so I started going to Sycamore in fourth grade. But again, I was 2 years older than Meredith. So I was a big, bad senior football player when she was a little sophomore.
And we had study hall
Had
together.
study hall together.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
what was funny is, remember back in the day, all the football athletes, we'd always have a number necklace or a number earring.
Sure.
My number in high school was 71. Well, 71 on a necklace looks a lot like the Hebrew letter Hi, which means life. And so she thought, oh my God, Josh
like-
DeWitt's Jewish.
I was like, I went home and I told my mom, like, Josh DeWitt's Jewish. And she's like, there is no way he is Jewish. And I'm like, but he wears a high, like he's Jewish. And she's like, no. And then we were in study hall and friends. And then I was like, oh shit, his number's 71. He's not Jewish. But that was like the precursor, because when we were in study hall together, like, I totally remember one night I had a dream that he broke up with his girlfriend and we got married.
No
That was
way.
a
Yeah.
dream she had.
A dream I had.
Before we dated or anything.
I didn't even, I knew him, but like, we just had so many friends
That's
in common.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was weird.
That's
and I never
very
forgot it, which was even weirder.
So then I had a ton, my senior buddies or junior buddies even, we had a ton of, coincidentally, a lot of my friends my age had brothers 2 years younger than us.
Okay.
They were football players. So we hung out with guys 2 years younger than us more than we hung out with guys a year ahead of us and a year behind us. And so we were hanging out with all her guy friends.
Gotcha.
They were just all this group. So we knew of each other and we hung out a bit, like my senior year more so than her.
Right. Like summer going in
Yeah.
to his freshman year of college. And then summer going into my freshman year of college, my best friend dated his best friend. So we were thrown together a lot, just hanging out.
Yep. So here we were again.
Yeah.
It was like, she's always there. She's always there.
Yeah.
I'm always there. And
Yeah.
It was just, like
it was
we'd-
just weird.
We'd hang out and be in the same groups. And then we were 1996-ish. I was up from Lexington and I'm at the Village Tavern. And
There
it
it
was
is.
late one night. And this friend of mine looked at Meredith and looked at me and looked at Meredith and looked at me and said, you guys would make a great couple.
No way.
And it was kind of like, oh, whatever. You kind of
Right.
blow that off.
Because
And
you're
then-
good friends and
Right.
friendly
Yeah.
around each other.
Well, so then a couple weeks later, we all go out for his birthday. We go to Sycamore Gardens, do the whole Main Street
Heck
thing.
yeah.
And then everybody comes back to my apartment in Clifton, and we're just hanging out up
What
in my
year was
apartment.
this?
This was 96.
96, okay.
We're all hanging out in my apartment, and then all of a sudden it's like quiet because his friends were going to go get a cab or waiting for the cab.
Oh.
Well, then they left him. They
It was like they were all setting me up.
Setting up.
This is
Oh,
before
Yeah.
Uber.
Of course.
You know,
Oh,
So
we're not
this
drinking
is-
and
this
driving. I'm just left.
2:30 in the morning. He's at my apartment. He doesn't have a car. I was working, waiting tables at First Watch downtown at the time, and I had to be at work at 6:30.
oh my God.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get like 3 hours of sleep, maybe. I ended up sleeping through my alarm because he spent the night, and woke up at like 6:30 and
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
oh crap, and ran to work, left him at my apartment, said, You got to figure out a way home. See ya.
Sorry, dude.
No cell phones, nothing, but he had to figure it out.
These kids have no idea.
Right.
No
But
idea.
it was an adventure.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's
for
great.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I
So I'm
wouldn't
at
change
work
it.
thinking like, I get off of work at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Is he still at my apartment or is he gone?
Where was he?
He was gone.
I was gone.
Yeah.
That would have been. It might not have worked out the same.
Right. But he did call me the next day and ask me out.
Oh, there
We
you
had
go.
a real date.
Yeah.
And then
And then it just got
dated
serious
for
quick.
6-7 months. And like she said, at the time when she was losing her roommate and an apartment, I had just bought a house down in Lexington.
Okay. Oh, a
And-
house.
Yeah,
Where
so
you
it
were.
was, yeah, well, fortunate in the industry I was in, I was fortunate to be able to buy a house early on.
Great.
And here I am. It was one of those like really small 1,400 square foot cookie cutter, but it's new. So I got to pick out the cabinets.
Oh,
I got
wow.
to pick out the
Yeah.
color of the
Great.
floors, all that stuff. And she's helping me with that. And it's like,
You
Dude.
guys were wow.
Yeah.
it was
No,
like
it
meant to
got-
be.
Well,
man.
well,
It
but
was-
it just got serious fast. It was just like we dated and it just felt right. And it never
You
crossed
know.
my mind that we would have ever broken up.
and her parents and her grandparents, old school Jewish family, they were absolutely in love with the idea of her moving to Lexington because I said, you can move down here, but you're finishing school. And so her parents said, all right, you tried 2 colleges. If you move to Lexington, you're on your own. But I had the bills covered. I had everything covered, except I would not pay the long distance phone bill because she talked to her mom and her sister every single day.
Yes.
So she was
Another
on
thing they don't understand.
Right. No.
So I always say Meredith was on full scholarship except for long distance because I wasn't going to pay for it.
Well, and the funny thing of all was, so
Where were you going to school?
Eastern Kentucky.
Okay,
So
Eastern
they gave me in-state tuition because I was on my own. I got grants. I really didn't take out much in student loans. Maybe after it was all said and done, I had maybe $4,000 in student loans. I mean, that time school, it was maybe 6.
It was more than that.
It wasn't a lot.
Because Merry Christmas, who paid those off?
Oh,
Me.
there you go.
Well, yeah, because he never paid for his undergrad
distance.
or grad school,
Oh, yeah.
but
Long
he
distance.
paid
He was-
my
He
college.
was so if you want to learn about Josh's history, we have that on another podcast, right? And
Right.
Josh was a D1 football player.
Right.
So that's what she's referring to
Right.
there.
Yeah. So it was not only that, but then, so school was paid for undergrad, but then when I worked for Johnson & Johnson Ethicon Endo, they paid for my grad school. So here I am in 98-ish. We're engaged. She's finished with school.
No, I didn't finish school until 2000.
2000, okay.
Okay.
But we still had your debt.
Right.
But we were engaged, and here I don't pay for school. I got a full ride for football, and I got a full ride to MBA
That's
J&J.
boring, yeah.
And now here I take on this debt from her, and I'm like, dude, this is stupid.
Right.
So she had like 7 or 8 different jobs, every
Oh,
restaurant in Lexington
yeah.
she worked at, worked at a daycare, worked at Toyota even once in Georgetown.
Yeah, I was at their
At
daycare.
their daycare.
I mean, just trying to make ends meet to
Yeah.
pay my long distance bills and be able to shop.
But we were not getting married.
Oh yeah, he said if you move down, you're finishing school, but it doesn't mean we're getting married.
Okay.
We lived together a year and got engaged.
Okay.
A year after that, we got married, and then
What year was that?
99.
1999. And how old were you?
I was 25.
27.
27. Okay.
So then we were down in Lexington in 99, and then in 2000, he decided to take a new job, and we were hated Lexington. So
Great place to visit, great place to party, terrible place to go work at a career where you work not from there and you work out of your house.
Really?
and your UC and IU fans,
Yeah.
and they're winning national championships for basketball, and it made you want to like stab everyone.
It probably might be different now.
Right.
Not winning much.
No,
Yeah, true.
right.
But it was just, it's an awesome town, but it's very cliquish. And when you're not working at an office, like I was in outside medical device sales, I was traveling Eastern Kentucky every day. You don't have a chance to really meet people.
Well, they are like since they say Cincinnati is the most northern southern city,
Right,
but Lexington is southern.
Yeah.
right. It is
You
very
cross that
southern.
line,
Yes.
you get down past Georgetown, and it's the South.
It's
Right.
a culture difference.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
We were down there one time, they had 17 inches of snow in 2 days, and it was shut down for 4 days.
Yeah. Like
She
I
went on sales calls with me to
just to get out of the
hospitals
house.
just to get out of the
And I
house.
sat in the car.
No, you sat in the cafeteria.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Both.
Yeah, both. Just because I had to get out of the house, and it was so ridiculous. Like, I mean, the grocery stores, everything was shut down. It was nuts.
So you had to get out of there. So what'd you do?
So came to Cincinnati in 2020. Yeah.
In your job? Oh,
Yeah.
No,
so
2020.
I'm
2000.
sorry, 2000. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
20 years off?
Yeah.
2000.
Right.
2000. So I took a chance, left medical device sales, and went to help a guy start an online marketing company, guy that my mom knew. And here I was all cocky. I got my MBA. I got a finance marketing focus on that. I'm going to take over the world, the whole .com boom, man. We're going to make gillions. And me and a guy started a marketing company in a duplex down at Mount Lookout.
Very cool.
9 iron away from Zips. So
love Zips.
I went from med device, being on the road and being on my feet all day, to sitting in an office. I would wake up in the morning and I would call on Europe all morning, and then I'd call on New York 9 o'clock, and I worked my way across the US, and then at night at home I'd call on Asia.
Really?
And like I
And
said,
you guys lived in Mount Lookout?
We lived in Hyde Park.
Hyde Park. Okay, you guys lived in Hyde Park. You're married now.
Yep.
Okay.
Married then, and so I got up to 305 pounds. I didn't leave a desk, and like I said, I worked in 9 iron away from Zips, so twice a week I'd eat a birth burger, a bowl of chili, and partied and did all that.
Right.
I said, man, I got to get out of this. I got to get back to med device.
MLT.
And by that point, we had moved up to Loveland. We were Loveland mailing address, but King's Schools at the time,
What year was that?
2001,
Yep.
and I was pregnant.
So what made you just family? Is that what brought you kind of
We
out
wanted to buy a
this
house.
area?
We were renting at the time and
Okay.
wanted to buy, and we were
And
looking.
where were you working?
I was with an online company as well downtown. It was, no one could explain it, so it's why we went out of business.
So, but you were thinking about
I was working
teaching
in marketing.
degree,
I
but
never
you were
ended
thinking-
up getting my teaching degree. I
Okay.
got it in history I just wanted to be done with school.
Of course. That's
And
my
by that
undergrad was that way
point,
too.
yeah,
It
but
was
my big
communication.
joke is that I went to school for 7 years and I got an MD, but it was my initials.
There you go.
Kind of like Tommy Boy,
It
you
worked
know?
out,
Right.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that's always my big joke about that one. But yeah, so then I ended up getting a job in marketing and business development for an online company. And then when I was 7 months pregnant with Zoe, they laid me off because we ran out of venture capital. Josh was with an online startup at the same time. And so I went back to them and I was like, do not give me a dime in severance. Just pay my insurance through the end of the year so I can have this baby
Good,
and
smart
not
move.
go into debt because it would
smart
have
move.
broken us.
Right.
So they paid my insurance for the rest of the year. And then 8-9 months later, you had started with Ethicon again.
Second time.
And then we had talked about me going back to work, so I had to pay off my student loans, and I was pregnant with Zach. So that was where Josh ended up having to pay for all my student loans because we were not going to put 2 kids under 17 months in daycare.
No, it's
We couldn't afford it.
I mean,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
as much as college.
Right. So then that's when we decided that Josh was going to focus on his career and I was going to stay at home. And that's what we did. And he traveled a ton. I stayed home with the kids. And that's really where I started all my volunteering, was because I had to do something.
Yeah.
While the kids were in preschool, napping, whatever, I just needed something to keep me sane.
And where were you? You were living in
North Loveland, King's School District.
Yeah.
King's School District.
And so we were ready to take the next step up in house. And, we had a boy, we had a girl, life was perfect. They were 17 months apart, everything was great. And then we got all cocky about moving, but we wanted to move to either Loveland, Sycamore, or Mason.
Right.
Mason was too big, too commercialized. Sycamore, we had been there, done that. Both our families were still in Sycamore, with both of our younger brothers
We're
going to
still in-
Sycamore
yeah.
in school. And so we were just coming down to downtown, Loveland, all the time, because we were literally a mile north of Loveland High School.
Gotcha.
Right there at Ashwood. And so when we entered Zoe into her first 4th, 5th grade soccer.
This was about what year? I'm just trying to keep track of timeline.
2006,
Yeah.
Okay.
2007.
Yep.
Zoe's 5, playing the soccer dig, and we put her in the Phillips Park Loveland soccer because it was a mile down the road.
Yep.
We weren't going to drive all the way to North Kings. We were going
Right.
to just drive to Phillips. So we started meeting all these people that were everyone was Loveland except us.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we started, we were big on the bike trail. We were big
Right.
at going out back when downtown was a shell of
The
itself.
kids were obsessed with the Dairy
Yeah.
Whip.
Kids were obsessed with Dairy Whip and the bike trail. And we always joke that when we would go on vacation, we'd go to like Hilton Head or Savannah, and we'd take the stroller, we'd take the rollerblades, we'd take everything. We can do that every day in Loveland.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was like, dude, it's like a vacation.
It is.
Right.
My wife makes fun of me because I literally have that phrase. I always say, how's this different than vacation?
Right.
I say that
Just a
all
change of
the time.
geography.
Yeah.
It's not as humid as at Hilton Head in
Right.
August.
That's
Right.
so funny you say that.
Yeah.
So we started to look to, so we moved into Loveland. You know, that was Zoe and Zach we were like, all right, life's perfect. We're going to settle down. And she was pregnant with Charlie. So we moved Belle Meade the exact same, or a month before Charlie was born.
Mm-hmm.
So she was zero help in the move because she was 8 months pregnant.
Right.
And so that kicked off the Loveland career.
Would she have been much help if she wasn't?
Oh, hell no.
I was going to
God,
say,
no.
I've
You know
moved
me
many
well and
times.
right.
I was going to say, I've moved many times.
Let's
and
be
I'm
honest.
I'm not being sexist.
Yeah,
right?
no.
But,
No.
Right. But when you're only moving 10 minutes away, we don't need to box that up. I'll box it up.
Yeah.
I can do
Right.
that in my car. Oh,
Right.
we don't need to do that.
Right.
So we finally did the move down there, and then it's been our life now. We missed our chance. I mean, Meredith and I have always been foodies. We've always had a little bit of entrepreneurial spirit about us, and our neighbor, he was very involved as a sous chef with the Jeff Ruby family of restaurants. We got to be good friends with him, and we looked at the old Blue Chip Cookie headquarters, which is over here by the Eagles, and we were going to turn that into a restaurant.
/ beer garden.
Wow.
And Meredith
You'd
was
be
going to do the baking.
billionaires.
He was going to do the cooking. We were going to buy that building for like $220 between two families.
So in the meantime, while before I had Charlie, Zoe and Zach were little, they both went to Rockbourne Academy in Kenwood, which is a Jewish day school.
Gotcha.
My
Now, Josh, wait, are you Jewish?
No.
Okay.
No. So that's a funny
you were
story.
wrong.
Yeah, I was wrong. He's not Jewish, but very funny that we ended up raising the kids Jewish. And so, little backstory: my mom's parents, my mom's dad is German. He got out of Germany in 1939, had his yellow star, all that stuff, and it was very, very important to them that my kids went to a Jewish preschool. And Loveland, there really isn't anywhere other than Rockbourne Academy in Kenwood. And it's a private school, it's not cheap. And my grandparents said to Josh and I, they were like, we really want the kids to go there, we'll pay for it. And Josh was like, fine, no problem.
You got this?
Yeah.
Right.
So we'd always said they were on scholarship for preschool.
Of course.
But, and that's so I got involved with volunteering there because it being a private school, they asked for a lot. And so I started volunteering there and then got really involved with the Jewish Federation and was doing great things, helping them raise a lot of money. I was planning a bunch of parties for them and doing all kinds of stuff. And then Josh was like, you're really doing a good job with this volunteer stuff, but why are the rich getting richer? Let's put your actions to, stuff that needs it and needs help. And that's kind of what started me helping out so much in Loveland. So,
Funny story about so I was raised with no religion at all.
Yeah.
Mom was divorced twice before. She's now been with my stepdad since my sophomore year of high school, and was raised with nothing, had no religious background. So going to Sycamore, you meet a lot of Jewish people. Mm-hmm. I always dug the religion. It was pretty cool because it was more it was type A personality. Everything's physical. Everything's got a symbol. Everything's got a meaning. It's not like Christianity and Catholicism.
It's a culture as much and tradition as much as a religion.
Because you actually can touch and feel stuff. It's not a theory.
Right.
And so that's the way my brain works. So when I'm reading all these books on Judaism before we got married, I'm like, well, this is awesome. I get this. Oh, the smashing of the glass, what it represents, and the mezuzah at our house, what it represents, and all these things. And, I was set.
That's really cool.
And I said, because we're going to have it. If we were getting married, I had to have the kids. The kids had to be raised Jewish, and we were having a Jewish wedding.
Sure.
So there was no question about that. So I went full bore into this. And the funny story is, for the podcast, is there's 3 forms of Judaism. There's Reform, Orthodox on the other side, and then conservative in the middle.
And I was raised conservative.
So we go meet with her conservative rabbi, and he met with us for about 2 hours. and he really beat us down. He indicated that for him to marry us, I was going to have to convert to Judaism, and I would have to take this class.
That's what I was wondering. That's what I was curious.
I was going to have to read this book. I was going to have to do this volunteer activity. I was going to have to drive to Cincinnati from Lexington once a week to go to his courses at Hebrew Union College. And then he made me feel absolutely like crap, especially when he learned about my background and with some divorces. He just really thought that we have to convert this guy completely to bring him in our community. When do you want to get married? About a year from now. That's not long enough. All this is going to take 2 years, and then we'll talk about getting married. Yeah. And I assume, son, since you were born in the early 70s, you've already been circumcised, correct? And I said, yes. He goes, well, regardless, we will still have a ceremonial bris on you.
Oh, shit.
But we'll have a party, and we will draw blood out of the head of your penis to signify you joining our community.
And I thought right then and there he wasn't marrying me.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you imagine being one of my college boys, getting an invitation in the mail
to your bris?
To my bris.
Yeah.
To come into a keg party at
blood.
Meredith and Josh's house to see that.
I'm still waiting for it to happen, right? I mean, let's just
do it. So
right.
So we didn't do that. So let me repeat, we did not do that. We learned what Reform Judaism was, and Wise Temple down in Adith has been our temple for most of our life.
Where is that?
In Amberley.
In Amberley.
Okay.
And so the Reform Jewish movement started in Cincinnati. All the Germans that came over from escaping the Holocaust, her grandpa and her great uncles, they settled in Batavia.
Wow.
Blanchester.
Or Blanchester, of all places. And so then they moved around Cincinnati and to Amberley and all that. And so there's such the Reform being the most liberal form of Judaism, really formed.
And that's kind of where you're at now.
And that's where we are.
Yeah.
But Judaism has a big history in Cincinnati.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I know I bartended at Nicholson's for a long time, and the building of Nicholson's has a plaque in the back that nobody ever sees. But it's like the oldest temple west of the Alleghenies is right there.
Really?
So, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's luckily we didn't have that bris at 27 years old.
Right.
But it's been a cool thing. All three kids have been bar and bat mitzvahed. We moved from Kings to Loveland to get a little diversity, which is an oxymoron because they went from being the only Jewish people to like one of three.
Yeah, it's not much.
Not
but
much.
It made it pretty special for them because when they all three had their bar and bat mitzvahs, it was a party and a half. Like other schools in Cincinnati.
Anna had a ball.
Yes.
I mean,
Anna's been to a couple of them.
Yeah.
when you go to like other schools,
Emily,
when you go to other schools and they have one every weekend, it's just another high-end party for teenagers. Where here it was like, dude, Charlie was the man for like a month.
Heck yeah.
All three of them were. It was cool. It was cool to see. But then, if we want to segue into boosters, me putting on all three of my kids' bar and bat mitzvahs and their parties is pretty much what got me into doing Tiger Ball.
Well, yeah, let me tell you, I was a bartender for 20 some years, and I did not realize how big those parties were.
Yeah.
They are weddings.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, they are weddings for how old?
13.
13-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are planning a huge event, so it makes total sense to me now. Now, if I haven't seen it, I had no idea. I'd never been to one except bartending at one.
Yeah.
And wow.
Yeah. So 2014 is when Zoe had her bat mitzvah. That year we went to our first Tiger Ball and we had just experienced what I had put on for Zoe's bat mitzvah. And Josh looks around and he's like, you would blow this shit out of the water.
You got this.
He's like, you would do, you could handle this and you could do it. And I was like, you're kind of right. Like,
and you enjoy it?
I enjoy it. And I love that kind of stuff. Like if I could plan bar and bat mitzvahs and weddings and do all that stuff, but not have to be gone on weekends, I would have done it in a heartbeat. I love it. But because I don't get stressed out. That stuff doesn't stress me out. Like some people like freak out, but that stuff doesn't.
Something's going to go
it's
wrong.
Fun.
Right, exactly. And it is what it is. But
so we did that 3 years in a row. We were the chair couple that ran
starting
the
what
Tiger
year?
Ball.
2018, because we did 2018, 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
And then we gave it up.
Well, we gave it up, but then you took over as booster president.
Right.
And then
What
before
year was that?
I've been booster president since 2021.
So you got involved with the boosters because of the Tiger
Because
Ball.
of Tiger Ball. My first year, I just had sent an email to Deb Pop, who was in charge of it at the time. I didn't know her. Zoe was in 7th grade. And I said, hey, I feel like I have a lot I could contribute. I would love to help out and get involved with my daughter being in 7th grade. I have another one right behind her. I really think I could help you guys out and would love to get involved. And she was like,
Oh yeah, they're
come
gonna take
on.
it. Heck yeah, believe
Come
me.
on. And that was the beginning of my booster journey.
So before you got into boosters, I think one thing that really got you into volunteering, besides doing all the school stuff you did, was Meredith helped run Loveland Youth Basketball for president for 2 years.
I was president longer than that. I think I was 2 terms president because I took over for Denman. We switched. Yeah, so I was in charge of I got involved with youth basketball, did scheduling for a year, and then the president and I at the time switched spots and dealt with that for a while, which was, it's fun being the president for something like that because I'm a mom and these crazy dads kind of can put them in their place and be like, what are you complaining about? Like,
I wouldn't want
not
that job.
really a big deal.
No.
And plus being a mom of older kids and now having one that's still in high school, like I've been through all this stuff that I'm like, your kid will be fine. Like if they don't make the A travel team, who cares? There's more kids from the B travel team that end up playing in high school anyway. So
Every year we look at it. Every year. There's more B kids that make the varsity team than there are A kids.
Well, there's more
back
B
when-
kids that stick with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the A kids either one get injured or they get burnt out. Puberty is an instant equalizer. And so you've got all these little whippersnappers when they're young and then.
Well, in Loveland, there's so many kids that in 4th grade, 5th grade, we compete because everyone's little and fast. The big kid kind of doesn't contribute. And then by the time we get in 6th, 7th grade, the big kids get big, especially at these other schools, and you just can't be a fast whippersnapper and get by. You got to be a big kid or a tall kid in this example in basketball. And the big kids catch up by 6th, 7th, 8th grade. So it's like, why is basketball so good in Loveland at 4th grade, but then by 6th, they're average or bottom? It's because these big old farm boys at these other schools, they got a 6'1", 6th grader.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
That makes
kind of
sense.
works well, but it's because I was knee deep into tons of years of athletic coaching for my kids.
And you're so involved with baseball.
I was involved in baseball, in a leadership position, and then Meredith is like, well, I can do this.
Is that where you started coaching with baseball? Or what?
No, I actually started coaching football for my brother because my brother's 17 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So my brother's a lot younger than me, so I helped my stepdad coach his team. And then back when Zoe was playing 4-year-old soccer, the coach needed help, and I know nothing about soccer, but I volunteered to help him out. And then obviously, then baseball, t-ball for Zach a little bit, and then that really got into football for me. And then that went into basketball. And then of all my sports playing, all my coaching, my favorite thing to coach was girls travel basketball.
Wow.
That was a blast.
That's so
It was so much fun. And so Meredith
You
was
just liked making him cry.
I made him cry. Naked cry. Or
Not too much.
No,
it was more the
hormonal crying.
more hormonal crying
Yeah.
that I had to
Tone it back a little bit.
I had to calm down a bit. But the joke is that Meredith got so involved with basketball because she's a basketball fan. She never played it, but her dad was a basketball freak and would make her spell Krzyzewski before she could eat dinner back in the late 80s.
A little tidbit about my family owned Schuler's Wigwam over in College Hill. So with the restaurant came a ton of perks of we had UC basketball tickets, we had UC football tickets. There wasn't a sporting event. If it was a big one, hell no.
Oh boy. We'll talk.
Well, we were Jewish. We weren't going to the Catholic.
Oh, that's
we weren't
true.
going to the Catholic
That's
school.
True. Okay, I get that. I get that.
So, well, in UC, my grandpa actually paid Oscar Robertson his mom $2,500 for him to come to UC.
No way. That is an amazing story.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that was my grandpa's, big
Heck
whatever.
yeah, that's
but
big.
Probably, big NCAA violation.
Who cares?
But right?
Yeah, guess what happened everywhere?
So I grew up diehard UC basketball.
Heck
Like
yeah.
I know that my birthday's in March. I was born during the triple overtime of the UCLA UD triple overtime game on March
that's
14th. You name college basketball, like I know about it just because
the fact that your grandfather did that.
Right.
It's in your blood.
It's in our blood. So there was not, I mean, any holiday, anything, birthday, holiday, you name it. It was, the first question was, are the Reds playing? Is UC basketball playing, or is UC football playing? And then we had to plan whatever it was around that. So I grew up just going to everything sports.
That's very cool.
And then you see the basketball players, football and basketball always had their banquets at my dad's restaurant. And then a bunch of the basketball players, quote unquote, worked for my dad. So they would always come over to our house for cookouts, whatever. So I knew, I mean, Nick Van Exel, Eric Martin, that whole 92 Final Four team, they were all my buds. And I was at UC at the times. So I just grew up a huge college basketball fan. And then I married a college football player and got just as into football as I was basketball. So sports was kind of always.
You guys are embedded in the sports.
Right.
And just the fact that, you know, you said you have these things you volunteered for. You volunteered for the Jewish community and the Jewish school.
Right.
But that you kind of moved your way to the basketball.
Well, I don't want to say I wanted to make a difference, because how much can you really make?
But it's real life.
Exactly.
You were dealing with that.
Exactly.
You had now you were in the middle of what your kids are going through.
Exactly. And trying to make it better.
Yes.
And I feel like in some ways we did.
Sure.
In a lot of ways we did. It's a lot of my things that I implemented when I was president of basketball have since gone to the wayside, but
that happened.
It always,
right?
I mean,
yeah, that's going to happen.
And I can't say it's for the better, but
nope.
Whatever.
You look at what she's led with Loveland Boosters. I mean, the biggest thing, Boosters in the past, before this current regime was in charge, they used to focus on top 3 or 4 sports.
Right.
And one thing that Meredith and the rest of the board came in, and they really wanted to focus on all sports. And
all sports, 7 through 12.
7 through 12 on top of that.
Because it used to just high school.
It used to be high school.
Sports.
Let's be honest, it was high school,
Football.
football, basketball, baseball.
Of course.
And girls soccer.
Okay.
Now it's like, the softball team needs this. Maybe not as much goes to football, but more goes to all the other sports too.
Right.
Even down to middle school, getting them the rebounding machines and things like that for the basketball team that they've never had before. Yeah. And that's what this current does, especially in Loveland, where we have a lot of awesome sports programs and teams, and some of them compete, but we don't have unlimited resources. We're not a private school. We've got our levy situations here. We have to do things to keep the lights on. So when boosters can raise the money that they raise every year, and you can talk about all the stuff you guys do, it just really, to see how some of those kids and teams make an impact.
Sure.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So you became president what year?
2021. So Jeff Williams had left, and there was an interim president that was running again, and there were some women on the board that came to me. Well, they put a thing out and said, we're having elections. We would love to have some other people run. I had got a phone call from somebody that was on the board at the time and said, is there any way you'd want to take one of these positions or run for one of these positions? And we'd love to have you. Yeah. So Matt Kapsakavich at the same time was being asked and showed interest in running as well. So Matt and I behind the scenes spoke, and we're like, we're on the same page. We think the same way politically. I mean, pretty much every bucket, we thought the same way. And so we were talking about it, and he's like, well, look, I only have a daughter left. You've got Charlie.
Right.
You take the president, I'll take the VP. We'll make this work and put our values and what we think is important into it.
Right.
But then you've got the longer time to stick with it.
Yeah.
So that's what we decided on, and we ended up, he didn't have anybody running against him. The person that I was running against dropped out, so it was.
And this is an odd question just as an outsider. Who votes on that?
So anyone that's at the meeting, that's a member.
So Boosters members
go and they vote for that.
And how many people show up to meetings? Just curious.
It can be anywhere from 10 to 30, just depends on the time of year and all that.
Definitely.
And when I was running against someone, there was talk of, get your friends that are members to come to the meeting.
Of course. Whenever a big vote comes up.
Exactly. Yeah. But then that didn't need to happen, so it all worked out. But I love it. I mean, I do think new blood needs to come in. I'm up for re-election in May. I would love for somebody to take it over.
What if somebody doesn't step up? What are your thoughts?
I would give one more year, but I'm not doing it Charlie senior year. Yeah. I want to enjoy it. You know, if
you want to sit back and relax.
I'll put the stipulation out there.
Who can blame you?
Right, exactly. You know, if they need me for one more year, I mean, it's easy now.
It's running.
It runs itself. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. We have honestly, as president, I probably pound for pound do the least amount of work, but I know how everything rolls to make it easy for everybody else. Yes. You know, I think you laugh, but a woman being a president, they're moms. They know how to multitask. They know how to get things going all at the same time, and
it makes total sense.
It works.
Like you said, even before, don't take this thing too seriously.
Right.
Relax.
Right. Exactly.
Well,
exactly.
We just had the Loveland Parade last week.
Right.
It's a perfect example. The number of people that I walked by, that Meredith and I walked by, and they said, Meredith, thanks for the parade. Meredith, thanks for doing this. Are you just ready to go to bed? Are you exhausted? Well, Meredith had a great team. You know, the parade was run for a long time by Tori Morrison, and then she resigned from it, and now Amanda Boehner runs it. And she took what Tori did, got some more people involved, and it's running itself. Mm-hmm. It's a perfect example of if you work together, and that's where I think people that can collaborate do better in these positions than people that just want to hit the hammer on the desk and tell people to do stuff.
Yes.
Because then it doesn't stay for long, and then that person ends up doing everything.
Right.
Because they've alienated people.
Yes.
Where in these volunteer roles, if you get a team player, no one's getting paid for it.
Right.
So we might as well work together, and then it just runs itself, and people pick up.
And that's where we are now. It took a while to get to this point, but for the most part, I mean, I've got great volunteers that do amazing jobs for concessions. Tiger Ball, we have great volunteers. Our membership chair is awesome. I mean, we just have good people in the roles, and we just want to continue it. Yeah.
Somebody pulled us aside the other night and said, a woman we've known forever, Carrie, and said, I want to run the craft fair. And it's like, there we go. It's what we need. Now, Meredith and I are, especially Meredith, she's got her hand in every little piece of it.
Sure.
I can't tell you how many times we've sat down for dinner and she has to run up to the concession stand because somebody's sick, so she needs to do this. Right. Or I was taking her car to the shop the other day and she had all this money in the back of the car because I got to run it to somewhere else. Where's the money at?
Don't tell people that.
It's like, yeah, right. It's like, dude, what are you doing now? She's like, oh, I got to go run to the mulch sale. And
that's why she needs a break, Charlie Senior.
Right.
Correct.
Exactly.
Those are the it's running
little
itself, but it's the little things that are just impeding all day on your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and you hate to be that. The easiest way to get somebody to pony up in a volunteer position is to rip the Band-Aid off and leave it and have nobody be there. Mm-hmm. Someone will step up.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's the thing. We got to get somebody to
But I'd love to have somebody that I could train and let them know what we do, how we do it, but then they can put their own spin on it.
Right.
But I'd love to have somebody shadow me for a year. That's what we were kind of trying to do, but we haven't had anybody step up. So if you're listening and you want to get involved with boosters, email me, call me, knock on my front door. It doesn't matter. We need the help.
Step up.
Yeah.
And that's what's awesome about Loveland is you'll probably get somebody.
Yeah.
And that there's a lot of people that are putting out the extra work in this community, which makes it awesome, which is why you stepped up so much. You stepped up. We all do.
Right.
The community works so much better, and it's more fun to be a part of.
Right.
Easier to be a part of.
Right.
When it flows like this, like you said, Josh, it's not a stoppage because somebody's not coming in and saying, oh, I'm going to change everything. I want to do this on myself and burning all bridges.
Right.
Well, what people, when you think about volunteering, the first thing people think of is, I got to write a check. Mm-hmm. You know, you think about our pay to play at Loveland. You think about our taxes. You think about school starts and every teacher has an email and we're donating money to everything. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing that I think with volunteer opportunities that people miss is your time is more valuable than the money.
Yeah.
And it's also the most rewarding.
Yep.
I don't care if it's $5 or $500. You forget about that when you write that check. Mm-hmm. But when Meredith and I ran Tiger Ball for 3 years, it was phenomenal, especially the 10-year anniversary when we had revenue of $100,000 with only $30,000 expenses. We were at $70,000 in one night.
That's amazing.
And that was, I mean, we were just addicted to watching this thing grow.
Sure.
And then working it. And then Ben and Heather Holman took it over from us, and they came with a new idea the community spoke. The younger crowds didn't want the fuddy-duddy dinner at the Oasis. They wanted more of the party at the Landing.
Yep.
So we moved to that format where it was less pomp and circumstance and more socializing, but we still were raising 40, 42, 38 grand a night.
What
Right.
time? When does that happen?
March.
Okay.
So this year,
Well, it used to be
March.
into January, but we moved it to March because it was conflicting big time with swimming and show choir. And those are two huge groups of families.
and the basketball tournament.
And the basketball tournament.
So we were losing parents from all that.
So they shifted it to March, so it would be more of a before spring starts, sports get rolling, and more
There's just a
people can
downtime.
attend.
And with having it at the Landing, with being outside, having part of it outside,
That makes
weather
sense.
was just
That makes sense.
on the up and up of being better than January.
But now for this coming, last year, Mickey and Andrea Metzer and Jeff and Ann Schmidt are the co-chair couples for this.
Gotcha.
Last year and this year is awesome. The back in time.
It's the power of love land from Back to the Future, the Huey Lewis song.
That's coming up or
That's
already happened?
that's coming up.
That's why the
great.
DeLorean was in the homecoming parade.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
So it's the power of love land. So it's Back to the Future. You either have to dress 1985 or 1955.
So that is, I mean, we are not even in October, and this is March.
Oh
Yeah.
And they're already that far.
Yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
like you say, bar mitzvah. I mean, wedding. It is just as
It's
big
that
of an
far
event.
out?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know Mickey. Mickey's been on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they those two. I mean, the Holmans did it. They did a great job because they introduced this new thing called a reverse raffle.
Yes.
So instead of going around bidding a couple bucks here and there, you buy a raffle ticket for $50, or you buy 5 of them for $250, however many you want to buy, and then you reverse raffle the prizes from worst to best. So everyone's going to go home with something. The days of walking around silent auctions and getting outbid.
Right.
Running joke in our family is I was a little overserved one night, and I ended up bidding on.
Well, Charlie had the flu, and I had to go. We were running it, but I had gone home, or I don't think we were running it
No, we
then.
didn't run it.
But I had to run home because he needed medication, and we lived literally right across the street from the Oasis. So I ran home to take care of him. And
Josh starts bidding?
I come back, and he won 8 baskets.
Oh my goodness.
And about half of them, I outbid her.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's
So
funny.
we got 8 baskets. I kept saying, it's for the kids, it's for the kids.
Yeah. I spent $1
Right.
million.
I stroked a big check.
Right. But going back to our conversation before Tiger Ball and all that about just getting involved, I feel like our experience, knowledge is power. And I feel like because we are so involved, we know so much more. So like, I feel like freshman parents come in and they can be pissed off. And I hate to say pissed off because that's such a harsh word, but they just don't understand how everything works and that
Sure.
we need volunteers for the sports to happen. We need people to run chains for football. We need people to be announcers. We need people to run clocks. And that's just for the sports to happen.
Yeah.
But then we also need volunteers to raise money. And that's where Boosters comes in. And there's a fine line of we need both.
Right.
And I think until you get involved and you get past freshman year and sophomore year and you're like, holy crap, it's not just Loveland, it's every school.
Every school.
But if you get involved, you just learn so much more. And then the little things don't make you angry because you learn like it's how it is everywhere.
Yes.
It's the way it has to be done.
It's a world that we didn't grow up with it.
Right.
We didn't see our parents doing it. So we're like,
Exactly.
wait a minute, why am I being asked to do this? But
Right.
now it's a
But
new
it's a
reality.
different world.
It's a new reality for every school.
Right. Well,
And
I
you're
think-
volunteering, you got to put your time in for your team that you're on.
Right.
Like you said.
Right.
Do the clock, Anna's volleyball, do the book
Sideline.
or the
Right.
sideline. But then you do boosters and
Right.
then you help
Right.
with that.
So the big dividing line is if it doesn't make money, it's for the sport. If it makes money, it's for boosters.
Okay.
So that's pretty much how you can figure out the difference of the two.
And we need money.
Exactly. You need money.
And we need money.
And look at where sports have blown up to. That wasn't like this when we were growing up. You could have, a teacher or somebody run all this stuff because it wasn't as big as it was. You didn't have as many teams. You didn't have the craziness of the parents being.
My big soapbox.
They didn't care as much.
They didn't care.
Travel and club sports have ruined it. Where back in our day, you just got a jersey when you're in high school that was probably a T-shirt material, and you went and played the game. But now, since we're in all this travel, club, everything, and
every player is a travel player.
Right.
As long as you pay.
Right.
As long as you pay.
You're in the G division. You're not even in B. You're in the G division of the volleyball tournament. But you have 4 different uniforms, and then when they get to high school and they get 1 uniform.
That's 5 years old.
It's 5 years old, and the parents want to know why they can't get better uniforms. It's like, well, it's because you had this club experience for the last 5 years or 7 years.
And you paid $2,000.
Right.
Now you're just getting a pay-to-play fee of, what's now $305. It wasn't that long ago when our older kids were in school. It was only $105 for pay-to-play.
Right. Yep.
And now it's $305 or $355 plus your spirit pack plus your.
And people got to understand too, the money's going a lot to refs. Right.
Right.
Ref,
it's going
to because I've had this conversation recently with somebody like, where does that money go? Do you understand? One, refs are hard to come by.
Right.
And you got to pay them.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the money goes to refs and it goes to busing you there and the gas for getting you there. I mean, that's where all that money goes to.
As a teacher and buses, and you get somebody to drive you, and gas is not cheap.
No.
Not at all.
No.
And insurance and all that. It's on top of it. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's why I'm so glad to have been involved because I understand it to where I'm already a laid-back, chill person and a lot doesn't really set me off. But I know so much now that I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. It's the way it is. And if you don't like it, you can go to a private school, but it's not like you're going to play there. That's what we see a lot with Loveland kids.
And Josh started a program to keep people here.
Right.
Well, not really to keep people here. Why Loveland is really meant to give families an opportunity to level the playing field.
To see what we have to offer. It's not even to keep people here, but to say, hey, this is what we have.
Right.
My goal is not to rip the kid away from their decision of going to a private school versus here.
No.
My goal is to at least let the family. The best story I had is there was a family that took their kid to a private school and he was a big orchestra kid, and they were dead set on going to private. The kid got there his freshman year, and that private school doesn't even have an orchestra.
Oh, no.
That's orchestra. That's not football.
Yeah.
We're talking strings.
Right.
We're talking a musical instrument.
Yeah.
So it's like you didn't even know they had an orchestra program?
A lot of people think that these private schools have the best of the best.
Right.
And that's a great example.
Right.
And I'll tell you too, as a teacher, the best teachers are not going there.
No.
I'm getting paid half if I go teach there.
Exactly. Right.
Guess what? I'm not going to go there.
Well, but then they say the ACT scores, average ACT scores are better at the private schools. Well, that's because you have private school kids paying money to go to that school. And we have every kid that's trying to take the ACT. So, of course, public schools are going to be down.
It's a bigger picture.
Right.
It's a bigger picture of what their home life is like and all those types of things. You got to take that on to average. Yes, exactly. So, good point. So, now I want to get to we talked about, we're going to talk about your family life here in a minute, but you guys have lives out of volunteering. You guys volunteer. You guys, Josh also does the Loveland All Sports Pod, which you guys all listen to, and that is 100% volunteer just to give back to the community, to talk about all the great sports we have going on here and letting you guys know. So let's talk about what you guys do career-wise, first of all. Okay. All right. Meredith, why don't you go first?
So about exactly 2 years ago, I became a realtor with BF Realty. It was something I always wanted to do. I always looked at houses. I think I'm 90% of the reason we've moved 3 times.
I was going to say, Josh told me how.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Well, just in Loveland.
Just in Loveland.
Just in Loveland, but I always would, get on the internet and look at houses and look at what things would go for and what our houses would be worth. And I'd be like, why are we still here? So our Eagles Point house we got for really low, and we sold our Belmead Point house high. And then just 3 years ago, we sold our Eagles Point house high and bought our Miami Trails house low. I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. And you know, for him, he was traveling so much for so long up until the pandemic. And the kids, I mean, that was my number one thing, is I wanted to be home for the kids, especially when they were teenagers and all those years of when they need a parent home the most.
Yep.
So timing worked out that Charlie was old enough that Josh was now home all the time. So we weren't really giving up on that aspect, but I could now do something I wanted to do. So I took the classes and knocked it out and started working for Brittany and just love it.
That's awesome.
I absolutely love what I do. You get out of it what you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
I think my volunteering helps me that people know who I am, but I love helping people make that huge financial decision. And you're part therapist, part designer, part decorator, it's all of it. It's just fun. Yeah, I really do enjoy it.
And Josh, what about you?
Yeah, so I've been primarily my career for 24 years, I was in medical device sales. Like a lot of former athletes, they get into med device sales because it's very competitive. You have to get up early. You have to be driven. You're working with doctors all the time, which is like working for a coach all the time. Mm-hmm. You know, you may not agree with what they're saying, but you have to respect them. Ton of athletes get into med device, and had a successful career at that. And then I left a pretty stable job to take a chance with a startup, and that was successful. And I went to another startup, and that wasn't so successful. And then I went to another startup, and full disclosure, I was part of a group of 5 that got let go. And that was like 5 years ago. And I don't get fired. I mean, this is not happening to me.
Right.
But like Meredith said, you know, I did a lot of traveling. It gave us the ability to do a ton of things that I never dreamed I was going to be able to do. Not only raise a great family, but also to travel, afford nice things, have a great life. But then I realized at the same time 5 years ago that I was so driven to be the successful med device guy that I was chasing titles. I was chasing the next dollar. I was chasing the stock options instead of just being me.
Right.
And so I started looking at other career opportunities 5 years ago, and a couple buddies I know left medical device to get into the world of IT. And so I got into cybersecurity sales, which, you know, again, the med device was awesome. I still have great friends in that field. It is absolutely an amazing field to be in, but it was just the timing of me being nearing 50, maybe looking at the next 10, 15 years of working instead of the last 24. And I said, let's take a chance. Yeah. And so I took a job and a lot of stuff transferred over really well.
Really?
From med device.
I would not have thought. That's what I was actually, when you were saying that, I'm like, that doesn't compute.
So I got to the level in med device where I was selling very high ticket capital items.
Okay.
$1.5 million items, $2 million items, a couple $100,000 items. And that's what cybersecurity is.
Okay.
And so when I was able to take the sales process of what I learned in medical device by going through Ethicon endosurgeons training and going through intuitive surgicals training, I was able to replicate that into the cybersecurity world.
Okay.
And the only thing you're missing in IT is you don't have an egomaniac doctor. So it's like, you talk to these people like human beings and they just want to be liked.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'm going to be home a lot more. And I'm not going to travel. And
how's that, Meredith?
Well, so I laughed because, you know, when I needed him, he wasn't there. And now that I don't need him, he's home there all the time. Like he'll be like, Mare, come here. And he'll turn up the volume on this conference call. And he's like, do you know what they're talking about? And I'm like, no. He's like, neither do I.
I love it.
And he's like, but he takes his sales process to sell that widget, but then he's on the phone with the engineers for them to implement it. But yeah, I mean, so funny story.
Well, to make it worse is when I started this job on March 9th of 2020.
After he had been off for 3 months.
Okay. Not much time.
Sold a house, bought a house.
I was going to say.
I painted 7 rooms in our old house. And then the pandemic hit.
Oh my God.
So I immediately went from being on the road. I was covering like 3 states at the last job.
I literally gone Monday nights, Tuesday mornings till Thursday night, Friday mornings, most weeks.
Wow.
And then
To
all of a
being
sudden,
home.
I was
Now you're home
all
every day.
the time.
Yeah.
So that was what, 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years ago.
Doesn't seem like
And
it.
so this past July, we had our 25th wedding anniversary. And now that I'm making my own money, I bought him golf clubs.
Oh, nice.
So you know,
Awesome.
I'm back to playing golf now.
you need to
Get out of the house.
Get out
I
of
was
the house for
gonna
like
say,
4 hours.
Here's a hint.
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah.
Go work
You
on
can't
your game.
complain
Go
that
hit
I'm
some
not
balls.
cleaning and doing stuff if you're not
Go
here.
hit some balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been awesome. But, you know, cybersecurity is, I've been with the same company. I've been promoted a couple times in the last 5 years. It's a big time job, but the work-life balance for being 50, I'll be 53 next week. So the work-life balance is amazing.
Next week.
Yeah.
What day?
4th.
October 4th. All right. What are you guys doing? Laid back.
Tony's
Well,
gift certificate.
There you go.
On that
Sunday.
Saturday
great.
night. Friday we'll have football and we have
Friday's football.
Day before we have Rosh Hashanah, so it's just smack
Oh, is
dab
that
in
right?
the, it's
Thursday night?
well, Wednesday night starts Rosh Hashanah. Thursday I'll go to services, and then
Friday football.
Friday football.
Friday football, and then Tony's Saturday.
Saturday night, yeah.
There you go.
Nothing.
All right, so family. You guys, I'll tell you, Josh and I met it seems like a long time ago, but really wasn't. And I envy your dynamic. I envy you. You're a great dude. I love you, but I don't know you as well as
Right.
Josh. Your family and just the way you talk about your family, even on the podcast, people see it. Talk about your family dynamic and your kids.
Well, it's you know, my mom and dad both were married 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So divorce was rampant. I had a goal to have 1 kid at 36 years old, and that was going to be it. And then I met Meredith. And I spent, do you call it a dating career? I don't know what you call it, but my previous girlfriends were all just like me.
What does that mean?
They were type A, career driven, money driven, had to do this.
Yeah.
And then I met Meredith, and it was like,
Kind of high strung.
Relax.
it was the opposites attract thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
It was like, whoa, this is amazing.
You learn a lot.
And my goal was to just work and make a ton of money, like I said. But then it was like more about family and whatnot. And when we had Zoe, life was great. And then we decided to have a second right away, and we had a boy. So life was great. Got my boy, got my girl. She was always ripped on me because, you know, we had them at 28, 30, or 30 and 31, 32, whatever for me. And then they were 5 and 4, and life was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We could put them in the basement. We could sit out back. We could go on a walk without the kids. And then she wanted a third, and here came Charlie.
Yeah.
So,
He didn't talk to me for about a week when I found out I was pregnant.
But it's you know, I mean, my mom and dad are great people.
Mhm.
They had different challenges back
Sure.
then.
Yep.
I have a better relationship with my dad now than I've ever had.
Good.
My mom's always been there for me, and my goal was to just have my wife not work and have a bigger family. Because like I said, I was an only child until I was 17. So I didn't know the perfect nuclear family ever.
Well, it took a lot of untraining of what he knew for us to be together, because he was very selfish. He was very much into me, and I'm like,
Well, your mom is very driven.
Yes.
I know your mom.
Yeah.
And she's a very successful.
Yep.
yes,
Yes.
very, very
you
much
have
so.
that, Yes.
And-
But on a lighter tone, when there was a piece of cake left over at our house, I just ate it. Meredith would go, "Where's the cake?" And I'm like, "I ate it." And she
And
would
I was
say,
like,
"Well, you
I'm like,
didn't
oh,
offer
no,
me."
no. When I was growing up, you split that shit into thirds.
Yeah,
Like you
right,
weren't. It wasn't
Yeah.
you got all of it.
No,
it was you share.
You speak up.
And
I didn't even ask.
right.
Yeah.
It was. It took a lot of years to get him to where I wanted him to be.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that's everybody,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, you know, our family, Meredith was raised in a pretty relaxed family. I was raised in a strict house, but my mom was in survival mode at that point.
Yeah.
She had to be strict on me. But she was always my buddy because she was only 19 years older than me, right?
Yeah.
And so that's I was with my dad this weekend, and he brought this up to me about how our kids have always kind of been our friends. We give them enough slack that they don't hang themselves, but now, especially with the older two, they're our buddies.
And yeah, I love that.
Zoe's in her second year of pre-law down at NKU. She graduated undergrad in 3 years. She killed it at Loveland, did great, played mainly basketball, but she dabbled in volleyball and dabbled in softball. Zach was a football kid, a little bit of baseball here and there, and he's going to graduate this spring with a double major in finance and econ, playing football up in Finley.
Yeah.
And people say Loveland Schools doesn't work. And I'm like, dude, bullshit. It's like, dude, are you kidding me?
5 stars.
I'll put my 2 kids
5
up
stars.
against any of your kids and what they're doing in
5
life.
stars.
And what the money they've received for college. I mean, it's
amazing. Yep.
And so hopefully the third kid,
he's our wild card.
He's our wild card. The one that And so
but
he should be, because he's the third kid.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's like he's
good to go.
Yeah.
He's good to go. But we
got
took the foot off the gas too. We found a few things with him that we, been there, done that with 2 kids, and we always say Zoe's perfect because she's the girl.
And Anna's my oldest.
Right.
Anna's my oldest.
Yeah.
And so
you learn,
like Cormac may follow Anna better than Emerson will.
Well,
100%.
it's just they know so much more at a younger age than the others.
And we treat
two.
them differently,
Yes.
even if we don't know
Exactly.
what we're doing.
Exactly.
Even if we don't realize how we're letting them get
Right.
away with more.
Right.
We
well,
are.
I just think about our language in the house. We never cussed when Zoe and Zach were little. It was all makeup words and
of course.
or over their heads we would say stuff. But we
Anna and Cormac went in timeout.
Yeah.
So much more than
Right.
Emerson went in
Right.
timeout. Yep. I don't know if I just didn't want to deal with
Exactly.
it anymore or
or
what.
you realize it's not that big of a deal.
Exactly.
There's a little bit of for sure.
That's so funny.
There's so many positives of Charlie that are negatives of the other.
course.
Positives of the other that are negatives of him. It all balances out.
And the thing that I love about you guys is similar with my family. They're not my best friends yet, but we joke we are so close like that.
Yeah.
Like Anna's not right now.
Right.
Anna's annoyed with
No.
every little freaking,
And she's at
I
that
can't
age that
text
she
her,
should.
she won't text me back.
Right.
Every little thing is just
She'll come back though. That's what the girls are difficult. The girls are easier at the beginning than boys, but then the middle school to teenage years, the girls are the problem.
She's
the boys
gone.
are easy.
Yeah.
But then when they come back, like
it'll be great.
Zach
I
did-
know it'll come back.
Zach did an internship this past summer here in Cincinnati, so he was home all summer, and it was like living with a friend.
I love it. And
No.
you know what though? You can't take that for granted because you guys did that.
Right.
I'm a high school teacher. It doesn't happen a lot.
Right.
It doesn't happen
Yeah.
as much as
Right.
people think.
Well,
Now
and
my
I
bar
think,
bills went up
That's all right.
because I had a college drinker.
There you go.
and I will say, I think what also helped, and I will go toe to toe with anyone. I think COVID was the best thing that could have ever happened at the ages my kids were at.
Same.
I mean, when are you ever going to have
Same.
life slow down and you get to just
Same
hang
thing.
with your kids?
Same thing.
It doesn't
I say that-
happen.
you know what? I've said that to people, and people have not agreed.
Yeah.
We made videos. We said, what is this process? What we're going through?
Right.
And it was
Yeah.
cool. We made campfires in the backyard.
Right.
Stuff you don't
Three-point
ever
con-
do.
We had a 4-person 3-point contest in our basketball hoop where we got every ball imaginable. And it was just like the NBA 3-point contest. We had a rack and you had a clock and you had to shoot there was
Right.
17 balls.
Right.
in this
Did
bucket.
things you would never
do.
ever
They
have a
had-
chance to
because
do.
because college basketball March Madness was canceled. They took NBA 20K or 2020, whatever it was, and they made their own tournament that they played however
We
many
played
basketball games.
How many games we played? And it went on for 2 weeks. Played 2 games a night.
Right.
And we had a bracket. And
It's
it whittled
amazing.
down.
Yeah.
And that's what right now I think we're in this post 2020 period where we really are concentrating on a lot of the negatives. 'Cause
Right.
We're still dealing with negatives and that's what you
Exactly.
do.
Right.
But I think what you guys are talking about here in the next 5 years, we're going to say, all right, but here are the good things. that came out.
Exactly.
There were a lot of
Oh,
positives.
our
that came
whole
out.
group of friends, we had a lip sync contest where every couple days a family had to send out a video that you made.
Sweet.
I mean, it was just fun.
We did my fraternity brothers that I haven't talked to in 20 years. We did Zoom Friday happy hours.
Right.
You know what I mean? People, my buddies in Cleveland and Detroit, all on this computer screen drinking beers, and we don't do. I would love to do it, but you don't do it anymore. You can't do that.
Everyone says, slow down time. We don't have the gift of
That's
time.
what it was.
We got the gift of time.
We did.
And especially with our kids about to go off to college.
Our daughter, she took advantage of it with, she graduated Loveland with only a few credit hours. But her first 2 years at UC, she took 18, 18, 9, 18, 18, 9.
Oh, my goodness.
Because she was bored.
He's a worker.
And she was like, I have nothing to do because of COVID. Wow. And then that's how she graduated in 3 years with her undergrad. And, I don't want her to grow up fast.
No.
But since she was going to law school.
It was different. Yeah.
Right.
She's in law school?
So she started law school early. Yeah. So she's in her second year of law school at MKU.
Wow. All right. So I did a little couples quiz. And you better not have cheated.
We did not.
Okay, good. And I saved them here. And we're going to go through each one, and you're going to try to guess what your spouse answered for each one of these. All right, so first question I had was, what is your guilty pleasure TV show? So Meredith, what do you think Josh answered as his guilty pleasure TV show?
Besides TikTok?
Nope, TV show. TV show.
Pawn Stars isn't really a guilty pleasure.
Could be, but no.
Yeah.
What he has. He's like, you know this.
I know it. I'm just trying to think what Outer Banks.
Big Bang Theory.
Oh, okay.
I probably can't make it through an episode of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Something about it annoys the piss out of me.
it is so
Do you watch it?
phenomenal.
I mean, he has it on, and I'll pay
I
attention,
can't
but
do
I
it.
never.
Something about it, I can't get into
Right.
it.
Oh, it's
All right, what's hers?
Friends.
All right, well, good.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, and that's a good one.
Right.
I can agree with that one. Bigger than Big Bang.
Right.
It's on when she eats lunch. It's on when she folds laundry.
It's just background
It's
noise.
good.
I don't really pay attention
But it's
to
still
it.
good.
Yeah.
Even if you had to. All right. Superpower. What is Meredith's superpower?
Well, she lost her chance. There was a superpower of memorizing phone numbers, she would have won. But now we don't memorize phone numbers.
No, we don't need to.
No.
Kids have no idea. So what is it?
That's hers.
That's what it is? That's what it is? That's what you think it is?
Yeah.
No, but you don't have to do that anymore, so take a second guess.
Oh, second guess? Oh, gosh.
Today.
Phone numbers, flying so she can get to places faster.
Time travel.
Time travel.
Time travel. What about Josh?
Speed.
Close. I mean, it's not that much off. Flying, like he said for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and
All right.
just getting his places as quickly as he
He's
can.
got to get there.
Yeah.
Type A.
Exactly.
Type A. Phobia. What are you scared of? Biggest fear. Meredith, what's Josh's? I found this interesting.
I have no
'Cause
idea.
it makes sense. It makes total sense.
Yeah.
I hate it.
You have no idea?
I've talked about it numerous times. I've seen
Come
stuff on
on.
the internet and on TV.
I watch this internet. When you saw this, did you watch those?
I get the cringe, man.
Do you
Like-
watch this?
Getting buried alive?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
The tight spaces in like caves.
Yeah.
You watch those cave ones?
The one guy that died upside down in one. I mean,
Where it was a dry cave, right?
Yeah.
And he went in and they spent like all day, and his brother's like tugging on his feet.
Yeah. And then they show the internet, the artist rendition of it. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like,
What are they doing? Right. There's so many bad ones. All right, what's her biggest
Heights. Afraid of heights.
There you go.
For sure.
You got it. So like, my wife Kim, like we have our Bengals season tickets.
Yeah.
She wouldn't even go to our seats. She hates
Really?
our seats.
Like the escalator up, she would be freaking out.
No.
Oh, yeah, I can't
It
do
used
it.
to drive me crazy when we were younger and we were in Chicago going somewhere, and I'm like, just relax. And I would yell at her about it, but that was
No,
like,
you realize that's not going to do anything. All right. If money wasn't a thing, what would you splurge on?
Him?
Yeah.
You mean the
what's
answer for
his?
him?
Yeah.
I bet it's the same as mine, and I'm just going to go and it's going to answer mine.
It's sort of like yours, but I'll give you a hint. It's not the same.
It's not the same? Okay.
It's sort of like yours. Same idea.
A house somewhere.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
That's the right idea.
Cabin on a
the same place.
lake. Cabin on a house on a lake house property.
What's hers?
A house in South Carolina.
South Carolina?
Yeah.
You nailed it. I
Right.
mean, that's word for word hers. His is very similar, but it's a place out west.
Okay.
A hunting place.
Yeah.
Hunting property.
We already have hunting property out east.
west.
Where?
We're out east in Seaman, Ohio, about an hour away.
Here's a place called Seaman.
It is. Yeah, at the property you can cut this, but it's called the Trails of Seaman.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
This is
I'm not going to cut it. What celebrity would you like to meet most? Meredith, what do you think Josh said? I would agree with Josh 10 years ago.
Aaron Andrews.
Who?
Aaron Andrews.
Nope.
That's a good one.
That's a good one, though.
10 years ago.
Singer.
Singer. Fergie.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
job.
Well, and what's funny about that now is my brother's friends with her.
No way. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Josh, get in there.
Well, so the big thing, so the funny thing is that if my brother and his boyfriend Alex get married, they want Fergie to sing at the wedding. So my kids are like, when are Alex and Michael getting married? When are Alex and Michael getting married? And Josh is like, when are Alex and Michael getting married?
That's gonna be great because I'm gonna walk up to her like the little overweight, bald, 50-whatever-year-old from.
That's the same age as she is almost.
Hey,
Yeah, I was going to say, I think she's...
Not much younger.
No.
So to make it funny for Meredith, I picked Josh Duhamel because
They were married.
they were married.
Oh.
That was our funny joke.
But that's not it.
That's
Who do you
not
think
it.
it is? I mean, it's so obvious.
Josh Duhamel? No, it's not Josh.
No.
Who?
George Clooney.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Clooney.
He's kind of out of the rain, out of the.
So is Fergie.
I mean, we're
Sorry.
both, we're
Sorry.
Both,
No, wait a minute.
George
Josh-
Clooney, Fergie,
George is
right.
still in it more than Fergie.
Right.
She didn't help herself when she sang that national anthem. So.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
All right. If you had to describe your perfect date night, what would it be? I'll start with you, Josh. What do you think Meredith said?
Going somewhere good for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Preferably a local place, not a chain. And
You're missing one aspect.
afterwards, music, listening to music at a bar in Loveland.
She said outside.
I said going to somewhere for dinner outside of Loveland.
I can't, it's not anything against Loveland.
No, but
It's
we're
just
down
that-
here all the time. So a
Exactly.
perfect night would
People
be
walk up.
the two of us outside of Loveland.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
get that. And what did Josh say?
I'm going to say dinner out,
And then what?
going to listen to music somewhere.
Where? He gave a specific place.
Oh.
After dinner.
Cappys.
Hey, look at
Right.
that. I
It's
love
only
it.
his sponsor.
I love it when you guys get it right.
Yeah.
There. That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. And
Which is basically every Saturday night. So we have a perfect
that's what he just
date
said.
every Saturday night.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
And guess what? He said it's the perfect date.
Yeah.
That's
It is.
perfect. Well, that's awesome.
Right.
What app do you use most on your phone? Josh, what does she use
Candy
most on?
Crush.
And
Facebook.
damn.
Yeah.
Nailed it. And what does Josh use most?
Oh, TikTok for sure.
Nailed it. Nice. All right, last one. Favorite holiday. Josh, what did she say?
4th of July. Thanksgiving.
There you go. Second, what did Josh say?
Thanksgiving. 4th of July.
4th of July.
So I guess
Yeah.
4th of July
Well, 'cause
and
we got
Thanksgiving
married.
are two
We got
favorite.
married over 4th of July.
Okay.
So, but
And we've talked about this 1,000 times. We didn't cheat on this, but those are our two favorites.
right, for sure. But we always host Thanksgiving for the most part, and we both love cooking. And so Thanksgiving, like 4th of July is fun. Thanksgiving is the most holiday celebrated, I would think.
It's a yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. Yes. 4th of July is summer and
Right, it's just
beer.
fun.
This feels like more of a family.
Well, I think Thanksgiving feels more of like, yeah, a family holiday.
Right. That makes sense.
So
All right.
All right.
What do we do to wrap this up?
come volunteer for boosters.
Good. Talk about it. No, that's great.
Yeah, I
think,
mean, yeah, boosters, we need the volunteers. If you want to get involved and take the volunteering part out of it, I've met some great friends along the way. We've met great people along the way. We've met, great teachers and coaches and just have learned a lot about Loveland that I don't think.
I was going to say just community.
Exactly. And I just think that it gives you perspective of, I had somebody ask me today when I was volunteering at the food pantry, stop.
Of course.
Right.
Of course,
so-and-so, this coach, whatever. And I was like, look, nobody wants to be a high school coach anymore. You don't get paid anything. Your hours are through the roof, but get to know them. And that's what I feel like we've done. And you have great, amazing coaches in the land of love. It's just circumstantial. We're not big. We're not diverse. We were dealt it.
We come together.
Right, exactly. And I think, some of the best part of Loveland is also some of our downfall of Loveland, but I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
No way.
So it's great.
Hello, it's Elise Knapschafer back with another Loveland High School Weekly Update. So this week, there's not too much going on in the school itself, but there is a lot going on outside the school with our fall sports. This week, there's tournament play for girls volleyball, girls soccer, and boys soccer. So wishing them the best of luck at all their tournaments. This weekend, there's cross-country regionals in Troy, Ohio, and last week they got runner-up at districts, so wishing them the best of luck as well. It's also our last home football game versus Anderson, and it's senior night and mental health night. So make sure to show up and support all our athletes.
This episode was produced and engineered by Mike Meldon right here in Loveland, and please note that the opinions expressed in the podcast do not necessarily represent the views of our sponsors or organization.